outraged and angered.
Even Roy Innes, who's always been a big supporter of the police department, saw danger in the jury decision.
It will tend to impugn the good parts of our criminal justice system, which is probably the best in the world.
Community leaders are concerned. They're not sure just how this angry reaction will manifest itself. However, many black churches are planning special services and meetings to bring the community together and see what would be the appropriate way to react to the Rodney King case. Bill?
Thank you, Doug, very much. Reaction also came swiftly from two of the country's more important Democrats, Reverend Jesse Jackson and Governor Mario Cuomo, both saying politicians and the political system are to blame for the King verdict and the riots.
There must be some directed remedy for the well-documented abuse and pains and alienation that the people suffer. And that's where we need presidential action, not just Justice Department action.
How about the failure of all of us, the Democrats and the Republicans, to do anything significant about the cities? How do I, as a Democrat, forgive that?
While Governor Cuomo and Reverend Jackson appeal for calm, the King verdict is certain to add fuel to the political fires in the coming weeks. Los Angeles is a frightened, angry city tonight. Several million people who wonder what nightfall is going to bring. Mark Coogan from our sister station, KABC-TV, joins us live now from Los Angeles. Mark?
Well, Bill, we are at the Police Department Command Post, which is in south central Los Angeles. And in 270 degrees, as I look around, I'm surrounded by smoke on the horizon. That is a fire or smoke from several fires to the south, to the east, to the north. There is smoke throughout the sky in Los Angeles. The latest numbers we have confirmed, 9 people dead, over 450 injured, and at least 300 arrests. And that number probably will go a lot higher. We're going to show you a little videotape that we shot here no more than 10 blocks from here about half an hour ago on Martin Luther King Boulevard in Los Angeles. And this was a situation where LA police officers arrested some suspected looters. It turned into a very tense situation as a crowd gathered and began heckling the police, and the police at gunpoint drove the crowd back. It's been a very tense day in many neighborhoods throughout south central Los Angeles as looting has proceeded along with arson. Fires, many of them set last night, continue to burn. Firefighters haven't had a chance to fully put out one fire when they're called on to put out another. The National Guard, as you mentioned, has been called in on order of Governor Pete Wilson, and the First Guard units are deploying right now. They have been rather slow in coming, according to many of the residents who have businesses in south central Los Angeles. They've been wondering all day when the National Guard was going to get here. Although Police Chief Daryl Gates of Los Angeles said with the Guard units and with extra highway patrolmen and sheriff's deputies, he now believes the city has adequate resources to quell the trouble. But as of a survey that you're seeing the evidence of here in these pictures, this was maybe half an hour ago, there doesn't appear to be any lessening of the violence, any lessening over what was happening last night or earlier this morning, none whatsoever. People are still out on the street in large crowds. The fire department, for instance, reported that 560 structures were put to the torch between midnight and 8 o'clock this morning. In fact, they were getting fire calls of 3 a minute. The fire department said they were completely overwhelmed, and they had firefighters under attack. Said the fire chief, Don Manning here, they were trying to kill firefighters. In fact, one fireman was shot in the cheek. He apparently is better now, but he was hospitalized. Chief Manning, the fire chief here, saying that crowd members attacked firefighters with guns, with axes, rocks, and bottles. It was like this throughout the night. It's been like this throughout the day in Los Angeles. People in the big office buildings are heading home now. They've been sent home now to get off the streets in time for the curfew that will come at sundown. Reporting live from Los Angeles, this is Mark Coogan. Bill, back to you.
Thank you, Mark. And there you have a rather depressing snapshot of Los Angeles this evening. In Queens, there are 2 communities, Cypress Hills and Forest Hills. One of them is mostly black, the other is mostly Jewish and white. We went to each community today and asked for reaction to the story in Los Angeles. We found a tale of 2 neighborhoods. Edie Tarbox.
A lot of people in Cypress Hills ignored the inviting music from the ice cream truck today. Conversations are focused on events occurring at the other end of the country. Keith Lee has lived here for 10 years. It's his day off from his job as a supervisor at a nearby business. He can't understand or believe the acquittal of the Los Angeles police officers accused of beating black motorist Rodney King.
It's hard when you look at a bunch of cops beating on a black man like that, and the verdict speaks for itself.
Just a few miles away at this printing company, owner Delano Jenis is busy getting his newest store up and running. But he, too, is shocked by the events in L.A.
I think
without a doubt, you can see definitely that something was being done wrong there in terms of, you know, the type of force being put.
Forest Hills is just about 15 minutes away from Cypress Hills. The two towns are worlds apart in most ways, but not all. The streets are quieter here. The homes are larger. But the reaction to the police officer's acquittal is mostly the same.
You would expect that when somebody commits a crime would be punished, no matter who they are and what they are.
I thought that was terrible. They shouldn't beat anyone like that. I don't know why they just didn't handcuff them and do whatever they had to do.
In Queens, I'm Edie Tarbox, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
The controversial verdict in Los Angeles raises some important legal questions because of the videotape of the officers beating Rodney King. Does our legal system have a double standard? One kind of justice